Hello everyone, it's Melissa from 1000 Plus Books to Read, here to review All These Things I've Done by Gabrielle Zevin. This book is really interesting. In this world, chocolate is illegal, caffeine is illegal, but beer is not, alcohol is not. So you can be arrested if you possess or eat chocolate or drink coffee, but if you're a teenager, you are completely able to go buy a beer and drink. The book centers around Anya. Anya is a 15-year-old girl who goes to Holy Trinity High School, and she is the infamous daughter of a crime lord, I guess you can kind of say. Her father actually owned one of the largest chocolate distributing companies that there is in the world. So, and actually her family still maintains it and owns it and everything. So she's still kind of in a loop, but kind of not. She keeps herself and her family completely away from that side of the family because she doesn't want to bring any unnecessary attention to her situation. Her situation basically is that she's living with her grandmother, who is bedridden, and she comes kind of in and out of being normal. Sometimes she can talk and remember things. Other times she confuses Anya for her son's wife. Other times she's very mean, and it's just with her old age. She's very old. She's on the edge of dying, but they've got this nurse there that's trying to keep her alive, basically, because she is the guardian of Anya, Anya's older brother Leo, and Anya's younger sister Natty. Leo, unfortunately, has had brain damage since he was like 8 years old. Being involved in this family, unfortunately, both Anya's parents were killed in the competing ways, murdered by competitors of the chocolate business. So she's completely familiar to loss. Unfortunately, Leo got in the way in one point, and he was shot. He lived. He has severe brain damage. So he's just not up to the level of what he needs to be. So in order for this family to survive and work, Anya basically has to take care of everyone, and her grandmother needs to survive. Otherwise, CPS might get involved. So, this book was really interesting because I didn't feel like there was really a real story. Kind of, this kind of just revolved around Anya's life and things that she was going through at the time, and different kind of family tiffs and things of that sort that happened. But I don't think, at least for me, that there was kind of like a point A, point B, point C kind of story. It wasn't. It was an overall, at first in this book, Anya has this boyfriend and she has some problems with him, and he ends up coming to her door and he wants chocolate, and so Anya gives him this chocolate that her cousin dropped off earlier for her grandmother, and all of a sudden she's being arrested for trying to poisoning her ex-boyfriend with this chocolate. And so she's carted off to jail, and all this other stuff goes on, and I thought that was going to be the main story in this book, and it turns out it was just a little blip on the radar. Like it came and it went so fast. It was kind of, I don't know, it was kind of interesting. The style of writing was actually very unique as well. It was part diary-ish entry kind of thing, and part story. So it was really interesting because in certain parts I would be like, oh, this is kind of weird. Here she is telling the story, and then all of a sudden you've got, a little side note from Anya talking about, what she was saying, or pay attention to this later, or things of that sort. And it was very interesting, very unique. I had not seen the two kind of mixed together before in a book. The characters were absolutely relatable, and I loved them. Anya actually reminds me a lot of myself, because I can see in her some of the things that I had to deal with in my childhood, having to take care of people, and having to be that, adult when you're not an adult. So her character really, really spoke to me a lot. All of the other characters involved were really good characters. Leo, bless his heart, I absolutely loved him. He tried so hard, and Leo, just bless his soul, he's trying really hard to be who he needs to be for his sisters, for his family, and it just doesn't work out. He ends up meeting some of the other family, and they really play him. I just hope that, how his situation ends up, that, he's in a better place than he was before. No, he didn't die. But yes, this book was very enjoyable. I enjoyed it a lot, even though, like I said before, I didn't really feel like there was an actual story to it beyond just kind of the life of this girl. There is romance in it. She meets this really fabulous boy named Win, and they kind of have a turbulent relationship. His father is the new district attorney, Top Gun type thing for the city, and of course her being the daughter of a crime lord doesn't sit very well, so it's kind of, this romance that shouldn't be happening per se, but it kind of works out in the end. I'm not sure if there's a second book in this, and I would really be interested to see where life takes Anya and her family and her relationship with Win, where that happens to go. It was a very enjoyable book, so I definitely recommend people pick this one up. It's kind of a young adult book per se. Not really a lot of mystery, not a lot of romance. It's just a great book overall about the life of a teenager who happens to live in this really weird time in the world where, normal things that we kind of take for granted. I mean, Lord forbid I couldn't have a Snickers or a Pepsi, and they're in this world where rations are extreme on just about everything, and sending an email costs you money, and just a very interesting perspective of world that may end up being true in a few years, a few centuries. So interesting book. Again, it is All These Things I've Done by Gabrielle Zevin. I did have a giveaway a while ago for this book, so whoever got it, woohoo, because it was a good book. If you haven't got it, I of course will link everything in the down bar below and on the blog. If you're new, please subscribe. If you know anyone who may be interested in our blogs or the books that we're reviewing and reading, please share us along. We're having some really great giveaways and spectacular events over on the blog, so if you haven't been there before, definitely come over and kind of take a look on our blog, the Facebook page. We really have a lot going on over there. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. Talk to you next time.